Government or God? That's the ultimatum set before Jesus in the gospel today. Jesus is confronted by the Pharisees and Herodians who try to draw him into a political trap. Just like happens so often today, things are interpreted completely in the light of political divisions. So how Jesus responds to this can help us reflect how we as Christians ought to consider the role of human political authority. First, it's important to remember that at Jesus' time, it was the Romans who were in charge in Israel. The Roman Emperor Tiberius Caesar ruled from Rome through various governors like Pontius Pilate, as well as puppet kings like Herod. And the Jews hated being ruled over in this way and longed for greater political freedom. The Pharisees, whom we're more familiar with, due to their rigid defense of Jewish teachings, were seen as an important source of authority by the Jewish people. But unfortunately, their prestige had led a number of the Pharisees to become filled with arrogance and even distort their faith's teachings. Politically, the Pharisees wanted the Romans gone and the kingly line of David to be restored. The Herodians were a kind of political party who also wanted independence from Roman rule, but they wanted to establish Herod's family as the line of king. The Pharisees were against paying taxes to the Romans, while the Herodians felt that it was okay for the benefits politically. So together they faced Jesus with a question meant to force him to take a side. Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not? If Jesus replies, yes, you have to pay, then they could accuse him of being a friend of the Romans. If Jesus says, you don't have to pay, then they could report him to the Roman authorities for being some kind of revolutionary. They're trying to use politics to trap and divide. But we can't reduce Jesus' mission of salvation to mere politics. So Jesus is having none of it. Jesus avoids their trap by confronting them with the image of a coin. And coinage in the ancient world had significance for who was in political power. Rulers issued coins with their own image and an inscription on it. And so in a certain sense, the coin was then regarded as the personal property of that ruler. So wherever that coin was valid, that's where the ruler held political sway over those people. And so Jesus first points out to them their hypocrisy. On the one hand, they hated the Romans. But on the other hand, they accepted all the financial advantages provided by Roman administration. Since the Jews used the Roman currency, Jesus explained that what belonged to Caesar should be returned to him. Repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So, as Christians, we too acknowledge that there's a legitimate place for human governance. There are earthly advantages that we receive and pay back into. Ultimately, though, Jesus has something greater to teach us. He didn't come as a political leader. He came as God. Jesus' main goal was not to form some kind of political utopia. He came to save us from sin. So while he begins, repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, he ends with, to give to God what belongs to God. While the coin was stamped in the image of Caesar, we are stamped in a different image. Every human being is stamped with God's image. Remember that from the start of the Bible, from the book of Genesis? God created man in his own image. Male and female, he created them. Being made in God's image, you and I do not belong to ourselves. We belong to God, who created us and redeemed us in the precious blood of his Son, Jesus Christ. Jesus says to us today, we must repay to God what belongs to God. Do I acknowledge that my life and everything I possess belongs to God, not myself? Do I give to God what rightly belongs to him? Knowing that we belong to God really gives us a greater freedom. As Christians, our lives do not belong solely to human authorities, nor are they meant to be controlled by the whims of political parties. Our ultimate happiness is not dependent upon whatever human being happens to be in power at the time. We, of course, engage in human governance, debating politics, paying taxes, voting, but we do so knowing that we belong to God. We must be vigilant that human government never takes the place of God in our lives. It is on God, not man, that we must place our trust. So let's pray with St. Anselm, this beautiful prayer that he wrote of trusting in the Lord. He says, "Lord, because you have made me, I owe you the whole of my love. Because you have redeemed me, I owe you the whole of myself. Because you have promised so much, I owe you all of my being. I owe you more than my whole self, but I have no more. And by myself, I cannot render the whole of it to you. Draw me to you, Lord, in the fullness of love. I am wholly yours.